Our objective today is volume of pyramids, cones, and spheres. Definitions. Volume is the number of cubic units needed to fill the space inside a figure. A cone is a solid 3D figure with a circular base. So think it's a circle and then all of it comes to a point. Think of an ice cream cone. A pyramid is a solid 3D figure with one base that is a polygon and with the lateral faces that are triangles. So you can have multiple types of pyramids. We could have a square pyramid where the polygon base is a square. You could have a rectangular pyramid where the polygon is a rectangle. Or you could have a triangular pyramid where the polygon base is a triangle. A sphere is a solid 3D figure with every point on the surface the same distance from the center. So think of it like a ball, a basketball. VIC number 1. The big B in the formula stands for the area. This is very important. It's the area of the base in that 3D figure. So if we look at the volume of a cone, it's the volume equals 1/3 times the base times the height. But this is a big B, so that means the volume is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height of the figure. So let's look at all these formulas. A cone is 1/3 times big B times H. So 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. Well, the base is a circle, so it's 1/3 times the area of a circle, which is pi r squared, times the height of the entire figure. Let's look at number 2. You have a sphere. It is 4/3 times pi times the radius to the 3rd power. Now, when we talk about pyramids, we have 3 different types. We could have a rectangular, a square, or a triangular, depending on what the shape of the base is. Well, pyramids are all volume equals 1/3 times big B times H. And remember, the big B is the area of that base. So if we have a rectangular pyramid, our base is a rectangle. Well, the area of a rectangle is length times width. So volume is going to be 1/3 length times width, the area of the rectangle, times the height of the entire pyramid. Now, a square pyramid, now we can still think of it length times width, but remember, we look at square, all sides are the same, so squaring one side. So it would be 1/3 times side squared times the height of the entire pyramid. If you have a triangular pyramid, so the base is a triangle, still going to be 1/3 times the area of that triangular base times the height of your entire pyramid. So we would have 1/3 times 1/2 base times height. This is the area of the triangular base times the height of the entire pyramid. So let's look at some volumes of spheres. So we want to round to the nearest whole number. So we have a sphere here, and it gives us the diameter, so the distance across the ball, or the sphere, is 14 centimeters. Well, we know that the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. Well, we have the diameter. So half of the diameter would be your radius, so this is going to be 7 centimeters. So we have 4/3 times pi times 7 to the 3rd power. Well, 7 to the 3rd power is 343. And 4/3 times pi times 343 is 1,436 and 76/100 centimeters cubed. Our directions told us to round to the nearest whole number. So I'm going to look at the 7. It's greater than 5, so I'm going to round up. So the volume of the sphere is 1,437 centimeters cubed. Let's look at another example. Here, they just gave us the radius, so we did not have to cut it in half like we did the diameter in number 1. So we have 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. So 4/3 pi times 5 cubed. 5 cubed is 125. 4/3 times, or 4 times 125 is 500 pi. Divide by 3, you get 523 and 6/10 centimeters cubed. Round this to the nearest whole number. We get 524 cubic centimeters. Now we're going to look at some cones, and we're going to find the volume of the cone and round it to the nearest whole number. And remember, anytime that it comes to a point, so our cones and our pyramids, is always going to be that 1/3 being multiplied by the big B and the height. So anytime it comes to a point, it's going to be 1/3 times that big B, the area of the base, times the height of your whole figure. So we have 1/3, the base is a circle. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. So we have pi times my radius is 8, so 8 squared, times the height of my entire cone, 12. Well, 8 squared times 12 is 768. 1/3 times 768 is 256 pi. When I multiply 256 and pi, I get 804 and 26/100. Round that to the nearest whole number, we get 804 centimeters cubed. Let's look at number 2. It's the 1/3, the area of the base times the height. Well, we have a circle as our base, which is pi r squared. Now, we need to be careful because they gave us the diameter. So, we need to figure out the radius, which is this blue section, half of your diameter. So, our radius should be 10 centimeters. So we're going to have 1/3 times pi times 10 squared, because that's my radius squared, times the height of 15. When I multiply all this together, I get 500 pi. 500 times pi is 1,570 and 8/10 centimeters cubed. We'll round to the nearest whole number. I get 1,571 cubic centimeters as the area of that cone. We're going to do a last few examples, and this is going to be with pyramids. And we've talked about 3 types of pyramids. One with a rectangular base, a square base, or a triangular base. So we want to find the volume and also round to the nearest whole number. So if you look at this one, our base is a rectangle. So if you look here, you can see that it's rectangular, and we know it's not a square because the length and the width are different numbers. So we're going to do 1/3, because remember it comes to a point, so it's always going to be that 1/3, times big B, the area of the base, which is a rectangle, times the height. Since it's a rectangle, that big B is length times width. So 1/3, the length is 8, the width is 9, times the height of the entire pyramid is 5. Well, 8 times 9 times 5 is 360, and 1/3 of 360 gives us 120 cubic feet. Now let's look at number 2. In this one, it's also a pyramid, but we have a square base. The length and the width are the same. So we have a square base. So big B is the area of the square is side squared. So 1/3 of 6 squared times the height of my entire pyramid, 7. Well, 6 squared is 36. So 1/3 times 36 times 7 is 84 cubic inches. And our last one has a triangular base. So this triangular base, so big B is going to be the area of a triangle. So 1/2 base times height. So our volume is 1/3 times 1/2 times the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle times the height of the entire figure. So I have 1/3 times 1/2 times 12 times 9 times 10, the height of the entire thing. Well, 1/2 times 12 times 9 times 10 is 540, and 1/3 of 540 is 180 cubic centimeters.